everybody, Sick this here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. And today, headed out to two different stores where I picked myself up two titles, so let's take a look at what I got. The first title I picked up I grabbed for only $5 from my local Five Below, and that was The Fairly OddParents Superhero Spectacle. Now I do already own this title on VHS, so obviously I am picking this up to replace my VHS copy, but I do really enjoy The Fairly OddParents. This was a Nicktoon that I never actually watched when it was airing on TV because by the time this came around, I was a bit too old for Nicktoons, really wasn't watching them anymore. When I actually grew up, Nicktoons had first formed. We had great classic shows like Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Doug, you know, all the great classics. And I would say around the time of maybe Hey Arnold, Cat Dog, Fairly OddParents, Angry Beavers, around that time is when I kind of stopped watching Nicktoons. I just kind of grew out of Nickelodeon. Obviously, I was getting into middle school and watching Nicktoons was not really cool anymore. So it was only recently that I started to get back into Nicktoons and I started to really enjoy Fairly OddParents. So I definitely had to pick this one up, and for $5, it was a great deal. And the second title I picked up today came from my local Costco for only $25, which was an amazing deal for this set. As I mentioned last week, I was actually on the hunt for this. Unfortunately, my local Costco's had not gotten any in yet, but they finally got in this week, so I definitely had to pick it up, and that was Forever Marilyn. This here is a fantastic Blu-ray box set, and again, for $25, it's a steal. This comes with such great titles as Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, How to Marry a Millionaire, River of No Return, There's No Business Like Show Business, The 7-Year Itch, I almost said bitch, Some Like It Hot, and The Misfits. The only title out of this that I do have is Some Like It Hot. That's the only Marilyn Monroe title that I own out of this whole entire set. So I definitely had to get this one. It is a fantastic Blu-ray set, and it is a great deal at Costco. My only downfall with this set is the actual packaging. I really don't like it. It comes in a DVD-sized case, which really makes no sense for a Blu-ray. Also, it comes out in these weird little books. It says Book 1 and Book 2. Why? I don't really know. And then unfortunately they just open up, and I did take the discs out of here already and put them in actual real cases, but they just slip in the sleeve pockets. And as we all know, I'm not a fan of that. It scratches discs. Why they would ever package anything like that ever makes no sense. So a really good set that has some great titles, but just has really god-awful packaging. A shame on Fox and MGM for releasing something in packaging like this. Such a great set in such bad packaging. I just don't get it. But still, for $25, it was something I had to pick up, and I can't wait to sit down and watch these classics. So that's it for what I bought today, so now into what I watched. And today I checked out Gold Diggers, Secret of Bear Mountain. This is a movie that I never grew up watching. This came out in 1995, so around the time that I still might have been checking movies like this out, but I had never even heard of it. It wasn't until I picked up this Laserdisc maybe about a year or so ago that I even knew this title existed. When I actually posted on Instagram and on my website that I was watching this movie, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's great, a classic, one I grew up with. I remember watching this as a kid. Definitely a shame that I never grew up watching this, because I think I would have appreciated the movie more. Not to say it was a bad film, it was enjoyable. It just seemed like it was trying to be more than it really ended up being. It was trying to kind of be like maybe like a Goonies thing, kind of a sort of an adventure story, but with some heart as well. And it, for the most part, did that, but it just sort of fell flat for me. It didn't quite come off as just the great story that I was really expecting. I really was hoping for these two girls going on this search for gold. I thought that would have been really interesting and exciting, maybe all the crazy adventures and danger they get themselves into. And although they do get themselves into some danger, it's more about a girl moving into a new town and befriending the bad misfit girl and kind of her issues with her mother's boyfriend and the issues that the mother's having with the boyfriend, how he's beating on them, and it's just basically about two girls becoming friends. And it works, and it was enjoyable. But like I said, I was expecting something more. I was expecting kind of a heartfelt adventure story, and that's not quite what we got. But regardless, it still was a fun movie. And it definitely had that great 1995 sort of feeling, and I would recommend it if you do enjoy movies like The Goonies and whatnot. If you like those type of movies, it is something to check out. You'll probably enjoy it. It's not nearly as good as those movies, not quite on the doesn't quite reach that level of greatness, but it still is a great movie nevertheless. One downfall I have with this movie, though, was the fact that right in the very beginning, they say this movie takes place in the summer of 1980. These kids are about as 1995 as they get. I'm not talking about just the main characters. I'm talking about everybody in the film is about as 1995 as they come. All the boys have like long hair. They all have, all the girls are wearing like little like waist-high belly shirts. Although a lot of the boys had flannel shirts wrapped around their waist, it just seemed extremely 1995. Everything about the way everybody was dressed, the adults, the kids, everything just screamed 1995. So why they didn't try to 80s it up really made no sense to me. I figured I was really expecting the movie to have sort of an 80s feel, just if for nothing less than just kind of the style of clothing and that everybody was wearing. But no, very 1995 for a movie that was supposed to take place in 1980. Really made no sense. But regardless, like I said, it was a decent watch, and I would recommend checking it out. So that's it for what I bought when I watched today. Definitely happy about picking up that Fairly Odd Parents DVD, as it does replace my VHS release, and I am especially excited about getting that Forever Maryland box set. 7 great titles on Blu-ray for only $25 is definitely a steal. Even if, unfortunately, we get some really bad packaging, and I don't get why it's packaged that way, but regardless, for $25, it is definitely a steal at your local Costco. And also watching Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain, I really did enjoy it. Although it didn't quite seem to amount to what it was trying to be, I still thought it was certainly an enjoyable movie, and it did have a great kind of 1995 sort of adventure movie feel, and I would definitely recommend it. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya. So that's it for what I bought and what I watched today. Certainly excited about...